following week is Parashat Noach. And we say that Bereshit. Now, what is Noach? Noach is disaster. So we say it's destruction in a sense. But we say like this, that there's a wholesomeness prior to doing anything, right? There's a wholesomeness as it is in the most, untouched form, and then there's the wholesomeness that comes after like, let's say, the damage, or after the system is broken down, but then yet you prevail. That has a wholesomeness as well, and that's the shlemut. That's part, meaning that in actuality, in implementation, what the Bereshit was a completeness, because God created the world. He gave you marching orders. But Noach is how the completion, the wholesomeness is, but because in actuality was done. So it was a little messy, but it got done, and that we received two haftachot. We received two promises that shows the everlastingness and the infinity of the Kadosh, in the unlimitedness of the Kadosh. Kashti nestati ba'anan, that the rainbow is given through the prisms of the cloud. That is referring to that the physicality, the mamashut, let's say the cloud is able to reflect something higher than it. That's the guf, meaning that's telling us, and that's indicating to us that the entire material could be used as a prism to see something beyond it. Could be seen, and also the idea of lo yishbot, meaning the idea that something that will, meaning a physical matter, something that's 100% physical, that's 100% matter, will never disintegrate, will never weaken. That is something that's impossible. It doesn't exist in this existence. It defies any rules of anything physical, and that is what's promised to us in Parashat Noach. So this shows this in implementation, the wholesomeness of implementation, of actually doing it, shows us the areas of HaKadosh Baruch Hu that were not seen when initially. Now it says a very interesting thing, that because you're after a week of Avodat Hashem, of serving HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and trying to define the goal, and trying to reach the goal, one must do an accounting. Now he says that accounting is able to be done very, very interesting. So now the accounting could generate, because when a person is faced with he looks himself in the mirror, what's the natural reaction? Crestfallen, because he sees, meaning there's a disparity between what needed to be and what happened, and that creates a medirut. And but that is the point that we see. That's the whole idea of Parashat Noach, that we see that there's the simchan and tuv devav, because he realizes the fact that a person has faced himself in the mirror, and he feels whatever feeling he recognizes that there's so much area to grow. So that in itself should generate by simcha, because the very fact that he was able to see how things are in the reality, that will allow for him to move in the right direction, if it wouldn't happen prior to that. And this is related, this cheshbon tzedek, we need to see it in the larger scope of things. That we need to recognize that Am Yisrael as a whole is complete right now, and they've done everything that's required of them for Mashiach to come. And therefore, even though specifically, let's say a person knows his deficiencies are not integral part. It's like that of you have a full, healthy, functioning body, and there's a scratch by the nail. It's important. Get it done. We'll take care of everything, but it doesn't define. So again, this is the idea that we're seeing overarching in Parashat Noach, that as much as there's avodah, and as much as the avodah could get a little messy, and it could be a little bit, there could be a little bit ups and downs, but nevertheless, but that doesn't define what needs to be taken care of. Doesn't define the preparingness, the wholesomeness of that. In moment's notice, Mashiach will be coming, or that, for example, that the kashtina tati ba'anan, and therefore as a preparation, the Rebbe calls it the kiddush levana is a very important moment, and that should be done in a very beautiful way. Not to do kiddush levana, to do it in a beautiful way, as it says in this Arizal, that you should be wearing Shabbat clothing. And why is it so beautiful? Why it's so important to do it in a beautiful way? Because the levana is referring to the David Melech Mashiach, that he's going to be mitchadesh. There's a kingship. The king of David's dynasty is going to be renewed with the time of the Melech Mashiach. So this again is a very, very powerful point, where either we have a tendency to turn a blind eye to areas that need to be improved, or we focus on areas that need to improve, but we allow it to define us the deficiencies of it. And here we're being taught neither of them are true. You look at the deficiencies straight in the eye, you look yourself in the mirror. At the same time, you don't let it define itself, because this in itself, the work in itself, is bringing something that's beyond. That's the kashti natati ba'anan, you're refining the physical matter, or that the sun and the moon will never rest. And this is brought about with the idea that you as an individual could have deficiencies, but you as a collective, as a nation, as a collective, as a nation throughout the entire generations, at this very point, we're 100% complete, we're 100% ready. There's no work other than just allowing for Melech HaMashiach to walk through the door. So clearly, that the mindset that you're taking care of your own deficiencies, or what needs to be taken care of, is game changing.